Hello everyone, my name is Ziyan from National Taiwan Normal University. Today I'm going to discuss an idea presented in the Harvard Business Review article, AI Prompt Engineering Isn't the Future. The piece was written by August Akar, a marketing professor at King's College London. Recently, prompt engineering has been widely discussed as one of the most important skills in the AI era. Many people believe that learning how to write better prompts is the key to using AI effectively. However, another perspective suggests that something more fundamental may matter. Not only how we write prompts, but how we define problems. Okay, in the next few minutes, I will explain this perspective and show why problem formulation may become an essential skill when working with AI. The central idea is actually quite simple. Asking the perfect question is less important than understanding the real problem. Today, many discuss about AI focus heavily on prompt techniques. People experiment with things like detailed instructions, role assignment, or longer prompts. Some people even show so-called magic prompts. But even a perfectly written prompt cannot produce meaningful results if the underlying problem is unclear. AI can generate answers quickly, but humans still need to decide what problems actually need to be solved. Prompt engineering became popular for several reasons. First, organizations such as the World Economic Forum has described prompt engineering as the job of the future. Second, technology leaders have highlighted its importance. For example, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman once described prompt engineering as an amazingly high leverage skill. And third, social media has accelerated the trend. Online platforms are full of prompt templates, tutorials, and collections of prompt techniques. Because of this, many people now assume that mastering prompt is the key to mastering AI tools. But important question remains, will prompt engineering stay important in the long run? As AI technology evolves rapidly, it becomes necessary to rethink the role of prompt engineering. Is it truly a core skill or simply a temporary adaptation to current AI interface? Several observations suggest that the importance of prompt engineering may actually decrease over time. Three key reasons help explain this possibility. First, AI systems are becoming increasingly intuitive. Future models will understand natural language much more effectively. This means users may not need to carefully engineer prompts. Second, AI systems are already able to generate and improve prompts automatically. In many situations, AI can rewrite prompts to produce better results. Third, prompts often behave differently across different AI models. A prompt that works well in one system may produce different results in another. Because of these factors, prompt engineering may not remain a stable long-term skill. A more durable capability is problem formulation. Problem formulation refers to the ability to identify problems, analyze them, and clearly define their scope. Without a well-formulated problem, even advanced AI systems may produce answers that are vague or irrelevant. AI can generate solutions, but humans must decide what the real problem is. Many organizations struggle with this skill. A survey found that 85% of C-suite executives believe their organizations are poor at diagnosing problems. This reflects a common mindset in management. You may have heard the phrase, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions." However, focusing on only solutions can lead to ineffective decisions. If the problem is misunderstood, even well-designed solutions may address the wrong issue. Improving problem formulation involves 4 important capabilities. These are problem diagnosis, problem decomposition, problem reframing, problem constraint design. Each capability helps clarify problems from a different perspective. Okay, let's look at them one by one. The first capability is problem diagnosis. The goal is to identify the root cause of a problem rather than just its symptoms. One useful technique is called the 5 whys. The idea is simple. By repeatedly asking the question why, we can gradually uncover the deeper cause of a problem. Often the first explanation we find is only a surface-level issue. Asking why several times helps reveal the real source of the problem. A well-known example comes from the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Researchers were trying to clean oil in extremely cold ocean conditions. At first, the main assumption was that the cleanup equipment was insufficient. However, further investigation revealed a different issue. In cold temperatures, the crude oil became extremely viscous or very thick. Because of this, removing the oil became extremely difficult. The final solution was not better equipment. Instead, researchers developed a method that vibrated the oil to keep it flowing. This example shows the importance of identifying the true root cause. The second capability is problem decomposition. This means breaking a complex problem into smaller and more manageable parts. Many real-world problems are highly complicated. If we try to solve everything at once, the solution may remain too general. Dividing the problem into smaller pieces makes analysis much easier. Techniques such as functional breakdown or work breakdown structure help clarify how different parts of a problem are connected. Research on ALS provides a useful example. The ultimate goal is to cure the disease. However, this objective is extremely complex. If the question is simply how do we cure ALS, progress becomes very difficult. A more manageable approach focuses on a smaller question. How can we detect and monitor the progression of ALS more effectively? By narrowing the problem, researchers were able to develop an ALS biomarker that measures electrical signals in muscle tissue. Breaking a large problem into smaller parts can make the progress much more achievable. The third capability is problem reframing. While decomposition makes a problem smaller, reframing changes how the problem is interpreted. Sometimes the situation itself doesn't change, but when the perspective changes, new solutions may appear. This might involve considering the user's perspective, an analogy, or a different level of abstraction. AI systems are also very sensitive to how problems are framed. Different formulations of the same issue can lead to very different outputs. A well-known example involves GE Healthcare's MRI scanners. Designer Doug Diess originally focused on improving the technical design of MRI machines. From an engineering point of view, the machines were already very advanced. However, during a hospital visit, he saw a young girl who was extremely afraid before entering the MRI machine. Later, he discovered that about 80% of children need sedation to complete MRI scans. This observation led to a different question. How can the experience of an MRI scan become less frightening for children? The scanning environment was redesigned as themed adventures such as pirate ship or space missions. As a result, sedation rates dropped from 80% to about 15%. Simpler examples can be found in workplace parking issues. Employees often complain that there are not enough parking spaces. If interpreted literally, the solution was simply to build more parking spaces. But if the situation is viewed from the perspective of commuting stress, many additional solutions appear. The way a problem is defined strongly influences the solutions we consider. The fourth capability is problem constraint design. Defining a problem also involves setting clear boundaries. Constraints helps guide the direction of possible solutions. For productivity-focused tasks, constraints are usually clear. For creative tasks, constraints can be more flexible. Interestingly, constraints don't always limit creativity. In many cases, they actually help focus creative exploration. A good example comes from a GoFundMe campaign called Help Changes Everything. The goal was to create year-in-review content that expressed gratitude toward donors while standing out from typical campaigns. To get the creative direction, one clear constraint was introduced. All videos had to appear as AI-generated street mural style art. At first, this seems restrictive, but the constraint actually helped create a strong and consistent visual identity. The contrast between prompt engineering and problem formulation is now clear. Prompt engineering focuses on how instructions are written. Problem formulation focuses on deeper questions. What is the real problem? What is its scope? What exactly needs to be solved? Prompt techniques may change as AI tools evolve, but the ability to define meaningful problems is likely to remain valuable. Okay, to conclude, one key idea emerges. In the AI era, problem formulation may become the new programming. This doesn't mean everyone needs to become a programmer. However, just as programming was an essential skill in the early computer era, the ability to define problems clearly may become incredibly important today. This leads to a simple but powerful message. Stop crafting prompts. Start defining problems. Instead of focusing only on how prompts are written, we should spend more effort understanding and redefining the problem themselves. Thank you for listening.